After rinsing, and just to make sure we get any debris that might still be left, we give the hull a quick sanding and a wipe down. Our next step is mixing the Epiglass epoxy. For you do-it-yourselfers and first-timers, using the pump system to meter out the correct ratios will enable you to get the proper consistency. For this application, a ketchup-like thickness is required to enable the epoxy to not only penetrate into the repair, but to also seal the surface against any water infiltration, thus avoiding blistering and subsequent damage to the substrate. When using a squeegee to apply the epoxy, make sure enough is put on to the problem areas. A slight buildup is okay, as it'll be sanded smooth for painting. And the next step is to let it dry overnight. Alright, we've let the epoxy dry overnight. It's not sticky or tacky anymore. We're going to get to Dinghy right now with the sanders. Make sure all the high spots are taken care of. Also that there's no shiny spots. Once we're through with that, we're going to wipe it down with the tack cloths. Check our work. Use a little filler, a little epoxy filler. Sand that down, and we'll be ready to prime. For priming, we use a 1/8 inch nap roller followed by a brush stroke to even out the finish and prevent any orange peel. Orange peel is a defect in the surface finish. You can easily recognize it by its dimpled and bumpy texture, much like the skin of an orange. And unless you brush out the paint as it is being applied, as Jim and I are doing in this project, the finish will be ruined and cause a lot more work than expected. That's because the cure for this is nothing short of sanding everything down smooth and starting over. And just to be sure, we first roll and brush a test board to see how the paint sets up. Satisfied with the results, we're ready for the Dinghy, rolling and brushing out and checking for any painter's holidays.